My fiance mocked my modest salary and embarrassing apartment when she was drunk with her friends. I pretended not to hear. The next day, I took her to my real house, a waterfront property I own and rent out. Then I showed her my investment portfolio. She's been calling non-stop since I dropped her off at her parents' house. I should probably start by explaining why I lived in a modest apartment despite owning significantly more valuable property. My grandfather built a successful construction business from nothing. He came to America with $8 in his pocket and died owning half the commercial buildings in our town. He taught me two principles that shaped my life: never show all your cards at once, and the right partner values you, not your assets. I took both lessons to heart. When my parents died in a car accident 6 years ago, I inherited everything: the family business, real estate holdings, and investment portfolios that my father had expanded from my grandfather's foundation. On paper, I'm worth 8 figures. In practice, I've kept that information private. I live comfortably but modestly. I drive a 3-year-old Audi, not a Ferrari. I wear a nice but subtle watch. The one-bedroom apartment I've lived in for the past 5 years is clean and decent, but nothing flashy. My friends know I'm doing well, but not the extent of it. I've always preferred it that way. I met Catherine at a charity gala 2 years ago. She worked for the non-profit hosting the event. Smart, driven, and armed with a wit that caught my attention. Our first date was coffee. Dinner followed the next week. The chemistry was easy. When she visited my apartment for the first time, she raised an eyebrow but didn't comment. Later, she admitted she'd expected something flashier given my title as a construction company owner. I told her I believed in living below my means. She said it was refreshing. 8 months ago, I proposed. She said yes. We started planning a fall wedding. Everything felt perfect until last Saturday. Catherine hosted a girls' night. I was supposed to be out with friends, but plans changed. I texted her saying I might swing by. She gave a thumbs up. Around 10 p.m., I arrived. Her third-floor apartment door was slightly ajar, probably from girls stepping onto the balcony to smoke. I reached to knock, but paused when I heard my name. So what does Richard even do all day? Jessica, her college friend. He owns the company, Catherine said with a laugh that told me she'd had a few glasses of wine, but I don't think he does much. His father built the business. He just kind of shows up. Another voice chimed in. Melissa, a co-worker. Is he just, like, cheap? That apartment. It's embarrassing, Catherine said. When he first showed it to me, I thought it was a joke. Like he was going to say just kidding and take me to his real place. They all laughed. He probably makes what, $80,000? Jessica again. He won't say. Doesn't want to admit how pathetic it is, Catherine said. The company only survives because of his dad's old clients. He could sell it, but he's too sentimental. I froze. We had talked about the business, but I had always kept financial specifics vague. Not because the company was failing, in truth, it had quadrupled in value under my management, but because I wasn't ready to reveal everything. Melissa asked, so why are you marrying him? There was a pause. He's nice. Stable. And his family did build half the commercial district. There must be some inheritance or property he's not telling me about. Jessica laughed. So you're betting on hidden assets? Not betting. Just wouldn't be surprised. And I could help him grow the business. He needs someone with actual ambition. Melissa snorted. I couldn't handle that apartment. Where will you live after you're married? We're looking at places, Catherine replied. I'm pushing for Lakeview Terraces. He says it's out of budget, but once we're married, I'll know more. I'd heard enough. I backed away silently and walked around the block. Then I texted her, plans changed. You guys sound like you're having fun. Don't want to interrupt. See you tomorrow. She replied fast, wish you'd come. See you tomorrow, babe. The next morning, I picked her up as planned. She was cheerful, slightly hungover. No mention of the night before. "Change of plans," I said. "There's something I want to show you." 20 minutes later, we pulled into the driveway of a 4,500 square feet waterfront home, wraparound deck, luxury SUV in the drive. "Whose place is this?" she asked. "Mine," I said, casually punching in the gate code. "Owned it 5 years." She blinked. "Wait. You live in that apartment and own this?" "It's an investment property. Brings in steady rent. Surgeon and his family are away this weekend. Figured I'd show you." She was speechless. The tour took 20 minutes. Gourmet kitchen. Home theater. Spa bathroom. Dock with boat access. She finally spoke in the study. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" "I own 7 other properties. 4 commercial buildings downtown. 1 near the university. Small complex on the north side." Her voice cracked. "How much are you worth?" I didn't answer. Just opened my laptop and showed her my investment portfolio. 8 figures. And just before I showed her the number, I said, "Like and subscribe if you think money reveals character more than it creates it." Now, back to the story. She stared, pale. "But, your salary? The apartment?" "I heard what you said last night," I told her, calmly. "About my pathetic income. About fixing my business. About digging for assets once we're married." Her face crumbled. "I was drunk. I didn't mean it." "You were honest," I said. "Wine just removed your filter." Tears welled. "This doesn't change how I feel. It changes everything. I prefer to own things you don't know about. And I'm selling this house now. Because you know." She gasped. "You're ending this because of that?" "No. Because you're not marrying me. You're marrying what you think I might be hiding." The drive back was silent. I took her to her parents' house, not her apartment. "You're making a mistake," she said at the curb. "No. Just avoiding a bigger one." I handed her the ring box. She opened it. Empty. I'd swapped it the night before while she slept, leaving a note, "We need to talk about our future." She began to plead. I gently cut her off. "Goodbye, Catherine." That was yesterday. Since then, 47 calls, 36 texts, and countless messages across platforms. Anger. Bargaining. Rationalization. Desperation. She even showed up at my office.